All right, folks, it's rock star time in Canada. Once again, we're on the way to Calgary to see Simone and Pablo next, right here on Cliff's Notes. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. Yeah, we guarantee it right here. And we're going to sing a little more "Oh Canada" today, aren't we, C3?
Indeed, yes.
Yes, it's good to be back in Canada. You can see the snow on the ground already, 72 degrees, and it's snowing. Hard to believe. C3, you doing all right today?
If I was any better, I'd be twins.
If you were any better, you'd be twins. Man,
Yes.
It sure is good to see you, I'll tell you what.
Hey, great to be seen. It's been a while
I'll tell
since
you.
I've been back behind the camera. So.
It is, yes. We've missed you very much.
Well, I'm glad I've been missed. That's good to hear.
Yes, it's better to be missed than hit.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Correct.
All right. And we have the always spiritual leader of the group here.
The Minister of Culture, the Culture, or the
Minister of Culture, yes. Mr. Travis Giles. Travis, how are you today?
I am great. It is good to see you, like he said, C3. It's great to have you back at the table.
I love that. He's great. I'm grateful. Doesn't that makes a lot of sense, right? Any good news you can share from the press box back there for us?
Well, so the NBA draft went on last night, and the Mavs had the 18th pick.
Okay.
With a young man out of Arizona by the name of Josh Green. So that's kind of our sports update for the day.
Is that a good thing?
It is. It is. We needed a big man, so he's a big man. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he's going to put some pressure down low for us. Oh yeah,
pressure down low.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In the box.
In the box.
There we go.
Down low in the box. In the paint. Okay.
It's a family show.
Right. Now that you guys know about hockey, no, I'm sorry, that was basketball, right?
Okay,
Let's go to hockey. Let's bring on Simone Rousseau and Pablo Galvez all the way from Calgary, Canada. How are you guys today?
Amazing.
You know what? Why are they always so happy up there? Is it I don't know. You guys have something in the water. It's so wonderful to see you guys. So you talk about, we've had some really special guests on from Canada. I don't know what it is, but you guys lately have been on fire in the real estate business and just with your business in general. We're so excited to have you here today and to share some nuggets, okay? Some gold nuggets, if you would, with our audience, and tell us a little bit about your story. But guys, if you're in the audience today out there, it's going to be writer downer time, right? Make sure you got a nice full pen and a clean 8.5 by 14 legal pad to take some notes on, and we're going to go ahead and get right started. So, Simone and Pablo, let's take a minute here and kind of introduce yourselves to the group here, and tell us a little bit about where you are. A lot of people don't even know where Calgary, Canada is. Can you find that on the map for us?
Sure, I can go ahead. We are located directly north of Montana. So Alberta is our province. Montana is directly due south. It takes about 2.5 hours for us to drive to Montana from Calgary, and our province just runs, straight north, up and down from Montana.
Okay, Travis. Where's Montana?
Montana is it up north?
I think we're in Texas, so all we know is Texas here. No,
is it North Texas?
It's far north Texas, right? Isn't it almost due north of where we are? Isn't it?
There we go.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
Our flight down to Dallas is only about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
And it's a straight shot direct flight.
Right. Nice. That is nice. That's very nice. And you guys are right now. It's you said it was snowing, I believe, right? And in fact, I saw pictures of both of you on Facebook on a ski slope. Was it a week or two ago?
It was actually.
It was yesterday.
We've been for the last 2 weeks. We've been hitting the hills, and we go to the Rocky Mountain Range, which is Banff, It's a quick hour drive from door to door or door to gondola, and we hit the hills.
Wow, wasn't that wonderful? Okay, just real quick, what's it like in the summer there?
Pablo?
It's like a cooler version of Dallas. We're considered the sister city to Denver, Colorado. So you can picture it a lot like Denver, where winters are snowy and cold, but the summers are beautiful and a lot of activity. We have the mountains close by, so a lot of very active people who love to get outside.
I know it's got to be a great place for outdoor activities, for hunting and skiing and so forth. And, we've had the privilege and the pleasure to visit a little bit west of there in the Vancouver area and Victoria, great friends out that way. But, C3 and I both like the mountains, snowboard, ski, and that kind of thing. So you guys are definitely on our list for a personal visit to Banff coming hopefully sooner rather than later. So that's exciting. Oh, yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your market out there. How many people live in Calgary now?
Yeah, in Calgary we have. Okay, go ahead.
We have a delay, so it's really hard. But we have about 1.2, 1.5 million people in Calgary and about 5,500 agents in our market.
5,500. So that's about one for every 20. It's kind of like it is here, right? You guys have a lot. Is it pretty competitive? The real estate market's pretty competitive then in Calgary.
It is, yeah, but it seems to be plentiful as well. Like there's something for everyone. And so it's never seemed to be a problem kind of getting into that 50, 100 deals a year or more if you really want it.
Wow. So let's just, if you missed that 50 or 100, you guys are actually, when you were peaking, you were at about 125 deals a year yourselves, right? That's pretty incredible. Right. Yeah. What's your average home price there?
The average price is around, the market average price is around 430, 450 right now.
So that is this like are these the houses that you see on the Property Brothers, those types of houses where they go in and is it generally kind of an old, what's the average age of homes in your area? Do you have any new construction?
We do. It's a real mix. So starting in the inner city, which is where our downtown core is, we've got the river pathway system downtown. There's a lot of century type homes. But what's happening in our market, and this is where we do most of our business, which is the inner city, a lot of those older homes are being leveled and infill homes are being put in place. So you have a real mix of century-old homes and then brand new modern homes going in the inner city. And then in the burbs, yes, because we're in Alberta, we have flat land, there's endless land, and the suburbs just go on and on forever.
And that's big oil and gas up that way, is it not?
Sure is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we all know what's happened with the price of oil and gas lately. Texas also very much on the producer side of that. So you guys got started in real estate how long ago?
Yeah, I can. I'll pipe in here. So we both we got licensed in 2010. I was January 2nd of 2010, and Pablo actually got licensed in July, because we couldn't afford at the time to get both of us licensed at the same time. So I was 6 months earlier. Pablo went and got a JOB to float the boat while I was getting, the feet under me and running in real estate. And we were able to then get him licensed in July.
So it sounds like you guys kind of had to bootstrap your way in. You didn't walk into this business with a wheelbarrow or a bucket full of cash to put into marketing. What was it like that first year or two?
Yeah, it was a big grind. I mean, we didn't have a choice but to get out there and do real estate transactions. So for the first 6 to 8 months, 4, 5, 6 days a week, we were open housing religiously. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'd even do 2 or 3 open houses in one day. And that's what launched our business when we didn't have any other choice but to work our buns off.
2 or 3 open houses in one day?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. You can go 10 to noon and you have a half hour to get to the next one, then you can go 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, and then you can go 4 to 6. It's doable.
Yeah, very interesting. Wow. That's what you call hard work and dedication there, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No question about it. So how did you finish your first year? Pablo got licensed just a little bit after, a few months after you did. How many sales did you have your first year, first full year?
Yeah, our first
I'll
year
take
we
that
ended up
one.
with 36 transactions. And that was between the two of us. And we actually hired our first assistant halfway through that year because we knew we were going to be over 30. So we decided to hire an assistant at that time.
Okay, and you were primarily lead generating through open houses. What was the next form of lead generation that you guys took that you added up on top of open houses? What was the next thing to help drive business to you guys?
Go ahead, Pablo. This is your bag.
Yeah, so we didn't have any money. Like we talk about bootstrapping, we literally had zero money, and so we had to get deals. We did one flyer once. I'll never forget it. We tried one flyer, put it out there, nothing happened. And then we talked to some mentors of ours, and they said, well, we don't do any marketing or advertising. And I said, well, how do you generate your business if you don't do any advertising or marketing? And they said, well, we just do open houses and we talk to people, we cold call. I said, well, what's that all about? And that led us down the path of getting into coaching. So both Simone and I, even though we had no money, somehow paid for coaching, and they had like a 6-month introductory. It was half price or something. And so we ended up paying $500 or $600 US a month for coaching, and they taught us to cold call, and we got on the phones and just started talking to people.
Okay, that was Writer Downer number 1. Okay, actually, there was a couple before that,
yeah.
But you guys put it on. I assume you put the coaching on credit cards and worried about how to pay for it later, right? But you realized you knew you needed some mentoring and guidance. And so they taught you to cold call. Were you cold calling what, expireds for sell by owners? Who were you cold calling?
Yeah, in Canada we have the do not call list, and there's a big privacy for calling. So we actually, in our market, we're not allowed to call expireds, and you also have to make sure that you're not calling anyone on the do not call list. So our focus was basically open houses, calling streets of people that were not on the do not call list, and then our open houses were the big drive for us.
Okay. And so what did that do to accelerate your business? Once you started that next level of lead generation, what happened to your sales that year?
Yeah, our sales, I know the numbers here. I don't know if Pablo is as in tune with what the numbers are, but we went from 36 deals in our first year, and then our next year we did 56 transactions. And then our third year in business, we were up at 83.
83 deals with that's the two of you plus an admin, right? No buyer agent, no listing agent. That's
stiff.
That's moving and grooving, right? Okay. So that was your first 3 years. And then when did you break 100? The next year, in your fourth year?
Yeah, the next year was 102, and then our fifth year was 124, 125.
Okay. And in those latter years, did you add any other layers of lead generation into your business, or was it still just open houses and cold calling?
Yeah, we really, we kind of turned down the open houses because that was very time consuming, obviously. We really focused a lot on the service, the customer service and the client experience. That was a real big driver that was Pablo's doing. And then from that, we started to just get a lot of repeat and referral business. So our business in our fifth year we were about 80% listings, 20% buyer sales. And our past clients usually would make up 60 to 70% of our transactions.
Wow, that's a great place to be in a relatively short period of time. Now, just to kind of fast forward a little bit here, you guys sort of officially retired from the transaction side of the business. When did that happen?
Go ahead, Pablo.
That happened 22 months into our brokerage change. So we spent 8 years with Remax, #1 office worldwide for Remax. Loved it, loved the broker and everything. We got introduced to EXP, made the move, and within 22 months of being with EXP, we were able to completely step back from real estate sales, which for us was a blessing because mentally we were spent. You know, when you sell at a high level like that and you don't have a big team, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And we were really kind of, you know, the grind and the kind of the hamster wheel of just doing it every year and going over and over and over was really wearing on us.
You know, that's got to be, I know AJ Maida did it pretty quickly, but 22 months, that's close to being a record, I think, of income replacement from, you know, your real estate business over to supporting a revenue share group, right? And now you're mainly involved in attraction and leading your group and training and coaching your group. That is fascinating. That is really, I mean, I'm blown away by that.
One of the things, and Cliff, I don't know if you remember this, back when we joined EXP, it was December 12th, 2018. So we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary. We met you and C3, I believe it was March of 2019. So 2.5, 3 months of us being in EXP. And we met you. You were in Vancouver. You spoke at one of the events that we traveled to Vancouver for. And this whole idea of income replacement was discussed. And I have to admit, I had no idea what that meant. I mean, income replacement, my income is my commissions. I'm a real estate agent. That's what you do. And after that event, there was the discussion about our freedom number. And to me, what calculated and what computed was what was the burn rate that Pablo and I needed to have in revenue, so both personally and in business, that we could then retire from residential resale and work strictly with our agents in our EXP RevShare group.
Right.
So that all came through. So mentorship, thank you for allowing me to listen to the message and then getting it and then executing.
Well, thank you guys for being there. You know, John, I guess John is John who invited you, John Tsai.
Yeah.
You know, and we that trip was a Hall of Fame
awesome.
trip.
Yep.
C3 went, and you know, we did the first leg in Victoria with Patricia Katiki and Greg and their group, and took the ferry. Brent Gove was with us. Glenn Sanford was with us. That was such an honor to travel with Glenn and to be with him that close for that period of time. And then we got to Vancouver, and man, I remember that room was absolutely packed. And then I'll never forget. Do you remember Denise getting into her affirmations?
Oh yeah.
That was incredible. Watching Denise she's something else. And then I remember meeting you guys, and that was for people who have never thought it possible to exit the real estate business. That had to be an eye opener for you. And obviously, I mean, you guys saw it. You know, we say a lot around here, once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? Yeah. But did you guys really, did you think you would get to retirement as quickly as you did in 22 months? Your initial goal?
Let me take this, Pablo. You know, I have to say that when we joined EXP, I'm a driver, high D, I'm all in, I make quick decisions. So when we decided to join EXP at the end of November 2018, I just thought, let's look at this 3, 6, 9 months. If it doesn't work out, we'll just go back to wherever, because someone's going to take us, right? Top producers in our market. And even when we were there in Vancouver, March 2019, we still, it was just like a little sparkle of whether this was going to be real or not. And then guess what happened in March? It was March 22nd, 2019. We received our first revenue share check. Boom! It just blew our minds that we received $22.49 from our brokerage as a check back to us.
Holy cow.
That was the best money we've ever earned in our entire careers. It was amazing.
Yeah, totally passive income. Now, I know that there's some people in the audience going, that ain't a retirement check for me, right? But
No.
but here's the thing, right?
You gotta start
You got to
somewhere.
get started,
Yeah.
right? And if you guys do the math, exponential means a lot more than arithmetic. How does it go? C3. There's
think you do this
2 plus
pretty
2
well.
equals 4. That's arithmetic, right? 3 times 3 equals 6. That's geometric growth. And then you have exponential growth, which is 3 to the third power. That's 27, right? So what happens is you start and you kind of just chug along for a little while, and then all of a sudden you turn around, and before you know it, this thing is starting to take off, right? And you look at how many agents you're adding a month, and that organic growth starts to take in, and you realize you've got a tiger by the tail, right? I mean, isn't that what's happening? So without getting into some specific numbers, I mean, obviously we have to be careful here about giving, people numbers and things, because we don't want them to misinterpret what we're talking about. But what kind of growth? You can certainly talk about the number of agents you're adding a month and how many agents are in your rev share group. Do you want to share any of that with our audience?
Go ahead, Pablo.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that. So we have 171 agents in our total revenue share group, spread throughout North America, from Florida to California to New Jersey, I believe in the Pacific Northwest as well, then Toronto, Vancouver, Regina, everywhere. So we're so blessed. And I can tell you, we came into EXP and this whole thing about seeing if we could do the income replacement and building the revenue share. And what we've discovered since has been this connection, this deep connection with all of these agents, and how much collaboration there is, and how much we love being a part of something that's just growing like it is. We just feel blessed every day. It's amazing.
So of those 171 agents who are now in your group, how many did you personally know before they joined EXP?
I have the
We
chart
knew
right here. So
18.
18? 18 out of
No, we didn't.
171, right?
We didn't know 18, Pablo, because a lot of these agents that we personally sponsored, I'm just looking at the names.
Yeah.
We knew 4 of our 18 personally.
Okay. So everybody that's entered your revenue share group since then were people that you didn't know. Because I know that there are people that are sitting in the audience right now thinking, I don't even know 171 real estate agents. How is this possible? Right? But it's the power of exponential growth. It's the power of the model that allows you to participate in people's business all over the country, right? And all over North America, like you said. And you really, it's the ultimate form of leverage, I think, is really what it boils down to. But you have to get it started, right? Now, your first year, the first 12 months, you said your first check was $22. How was that first year? Did you guys kill it, or was it just kind of was it a slow process? What was it like?
Simone, do you mind if I take this one? So
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the, I know in the first year, we really, really wanted to build the revenue share group and the organization and all that. But at the same time, we had money that we needed. We needed to pay bills. And so the entire first year was really focused on production. We still had to sell a lot of real estate to maintain our lifestyle. So we barely did, we did a little bit of calling some agents and introducing them to EXP and things like that, but really not a full-time job or full-time effort at all. It was all in on production.
I know you and I chatted about this a little bit ahead of the game, and we talked about that balance, right?
Yeah.
What did you want? You wanted to ask
Yeah,
him
just about how you guys are able to incorporate, the attraction. I know you're not selling anymore, but how do y'all balance, the life that you want to live and, life by design, right? So can you tell me how you manage the work-life balance in regards to how often you're working versus how often you're out on the slopes and stuff like that?
Yeah, it sounds like you've got time to enjoy Banff, which is pretty cool.
Retired.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. And then what was it like? Contrast that to when you were just living on transaction income.
Yeah, you know what we discovered, and I'll go back prior to September 3rd of 2020, because that was our retirement from residential resale. Those 2 years prior, the year and a half prior, was, like Pablo said, it was really focused on our income, making sure that we could pay our bills. And at the same time, we were starting to grow our tier one agents, or our personal sponsors. And what ended up happening over the course of about 12 months during that time is that those agents that we sponsored, we started to realize that the more that we contributed to them and the more we poured into them, the more successful they would be, both in their revenue share and in their real estate careers. And then they would be winning, which would then, as a result, make us winners as well. So we did a number of things over the last 22 months, which was sell real estate, attract tier one agents just through basic attraction and, you know, of who we were being. And then the third big one that we spent a ton of time on was pouring into all of our agents for anything they needed, whether it was business, personal, rev share building, direction, mentorship, anything.
So you guys were able to take 8 years of great real estate experience where the two of you sold over 125 homes a year for several consecutive years at the number one office, RE/MAX office in worldwide, I believe you said, and take that experience and lift other people up. How is that different than the way it works at traditional franchise brokerages? Break it down and let's let the audience see if we can get the parts here, the pieces that are different about EXP. Why does it work here and not somewhere else?
Well, I can answer that one because it's very simple. If you go, I go back to in my mind, I go back to my previous real estate brokerage, this big franchise company, and there was a 200 desk office, and you'd walk through the halls and there would be a half a dozen agents in the office. And if I were a newer agent, which I was at the time, and I'd go down the hall and I'd knock on a door and I'd ask for some help, and I got like a little bit of help, like just enough to kind of get me by, right? There was no incentive for that agent to help me. And in fact, I was now his competition, and I was going after the same buyers, sellers, listings, et cetera, in my market. With EXP, there is a financial incentive in everybody helping everybody. And that has created this culture of collaboration you just don't see anywhere else.
Not only that, but you guys took the last pennies that you had to spend $500 or $600 a month in a coaching program because you couldn't get what you needed at your own brokerage. True?
Yes.
Right. Yes.
So,
and actually, it wasn't even our last pennies. It was our last portion of credit available on our credit cards. It was
wow.
It was like way on the other side.
Yeah, I've been there.
Guys now, though.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, it's paid off. Yeah. But so for an agent now, they don't have to risk their entire financial net worth to go and learn the business. What I'm hearing is you are the one that's coaching and providing them the training that they need to be successful. Is that right?
You got it.
Okay. Whole new concept, right? Never been done before. Imagine that, you know? You don't have all these little competing factions, you know, with their fences around them fighting for their little turf, right? So now you've got one brokerage across the world where everybody's incentivized to help each other. That's fascinating. Well, let's look ahead a little bit. I want you to get your crystal balls out. And I see, Simone, I see you smiling, and Pablo, you're starting to smile. Tell us what is in store for you guys for the next 3 years. Where do you see yourselves in 3 years?
You go ahead, Pablo, because
Somewhere very warm.
Yeah. Yeah, we love skiing, but we love the beach even more. You know, we dream big. Simone and I love to dream big. And I think that we were talking about this morning, how as you start to build wealth in life, your shift starts to focus. Like on my dream board every year, it's been cars and boats and, houses and all this luxury and opulence. As you start to kind of build wealth, your focus starts to shift. And what I want is more time. I want more freedom of my time. I want to be able to do the things that I want to do. I want to help others, and I want to see them grow, because watching other people succeed is the better gift in life than a Ferrari for me, So there's only so much you can replace in happiness with physical things. For us, it's about time, freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. All of those things are really, really critical to us.
Wow, that's fascinating. I know there are people that are in the audience thinking there's got to be a catch here. Something's got to be wrong, because at some point that income that they're getting now has got to stop. Just like real estate, when you stop doing the transactions, you stop making money. Is that what happens with this passive income?
Pablo, maybe you can touch on the last couple months, just so you can share part of that.
Yeah, you would think that that's the case. And when you are exchanging your time for money, which is, if you're a lawyer, an accountant, a realtor, you're exchanging your time for money. The amount of time you spend is the amount of money that you're going to get. When you build truly passive income, whether it's a portfolio of rental properties or anything like that, the money just continues to come as long as you still have that asset in place. And for us, the asset is EXP and the revenue share. So the more we pour into our group, the more we give, the more we get. But it's a totally different thing than the time for money equation, right?
Well, even that, how is this different than rental income?
Yeah, well, rental income, you have a lot of potential rewards, but you also have a lot of risks associated with that. There's market appreciation or depreciation, as we've experienced in our market in the last few years with oil. You've got maintenance and hassle, and you've got to re-rent your place, and then you've got to deal with a tenant, et cetera, et cetera. It's like active passive income. Revenue share is passive income.
Yeah. I think the only reason why Robert Kiyosaki wrote about real estate investing as passive income is EXP didn't exist back then, exactly. Right? Because you've always got tenants, toilets, and taxes. And I don't care what you say, it is not hands-off, maintenance-free. The day you start your hands-off, it's just like a restaurant owner that never sets foot back in their restaurant. You know what happens to those, right? Well, that's fantastic.
Simone and I used to go to the Robert Kiyosaki seminars all the time. We saw him speak a few times, and they got the ESIB, the cash flow quadrant. And
yes.
We always wanted to go from the employee to the small business owner. And as a realtor, that's what you are, a small business owner. And then you want to move to the B, the business owner. And so you build a team, a real estate team. And he always talked about being an investor. And I thought, okay, well, as an investor, what do you have? You have stocks. You could maybe invest as a lender, right? But you're right, EXP, this kind of thing didn't exist for us. And the fact that we're still realtors and still can collect a passive income, nothing like this has ever been seen before. I love it.
Have you guys done the math to calculate how many rental properties you'd need to own to keep up with your revenue share? It's a scary number, isn't it?
What's scary is not the number of properties you need to have, but the amount of after-tax income that you would need in order to put the down payments on all those properties is almost impossible.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's really, it goes back to leverage, right? The leverage thing. All right. So I want you to go out on a limb and give us a prediction of how big your revenue share group is going to be in 3 years.
Well, I can tell you exactly. We'll be pushing 1,500 agents in our total revenue share group. So today, November 19th, 2020, we're at 171, and 3 years from now, we'll be at 1,500.
All right, write this down. We're going to have them back on the show November, whatever that Thursday is, 2023, sorry. And we'll do the count. We'll see if it comes true or not. I bet it's going to be more than that. Wow, this is so exciting. I got goosebumps, man. I'm telling you, this is just, to see lives changed. And your story is not an uncommon story around, our office up in the cloud. I mean, it's common. And we're excited for you guys and for the people's lives that you are changing. You're having a direct impact on people and helping them live a better life. And thank you guys for your service to them and to the company. And your reward, that revenue share, is simply just a way to keep score of how well you're helping other people. That's the way you've got to look at it. So keep it up. You guys are awesome. All right, we're at really, I can't believe this has gone by so fast, but it has. I'm going to have to wrap up here, but would you guys each do me a favor, and I want you to give your single best piece of advice for agents that are out there that may be not having the kind of year or the kind of life that they want to enjoy. What's the one single best piece of advice that you can offer them?
Oh gosh. Okay, I'll go first, Pablo. So this is the way I roll. So far, so good, I think. But you have to go with your gut. Make decisions quickly. Align with people that are doing something that you would also like to be doing. Make the decision and go all in now. Not tomorrow, not next week, go now. So that's what I'd say is quick decisions, go all in, and align with people that are doing something that you'd also like to be experiencing.
I love that. Don't be the squirrel in the middle of the road, right?
We call that a flat squirrel.
That's
right?
flat squirrel,
Yeah,
right?
flat
Yes. Pablo, your turn, sir.
Yeah, I would just say you don't know what you don't know. So really make sure you're open to listening and understanding the opportunity. And if it's not for you, that's fine, but be open to hearing about it. That's the only thing I would say.
I think if we just lived our lives with that kind of mindset, we'd all have a better life,
I think
just
so,
being a little more open-minded. That's great advice. Well, guys, thank you so much. I know the lifts are going to be closing there in an hour, and you guys are trying to bust your way out to catch that last run. But thank you so much. What an incredible story.
Yes.
Travis, I'm telling you, man, Canada's calling us, my friend.
Can't wait to see you guys again.
Yeah,
in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do another Vancouver.
We got to do the whole thing. And Travis, will you come with us up
Calgary
there?
You know what? I'll break out my big jacket.
All right, the big jacket. We're going to get some skis on Travis too. I'm telling you.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah, he's only had water skis on so far, but we're going to get some snow skis on him. Well, guys, thank you again so much. It was so great to have you today, and thanks for enlightening everybody in our audience and hopefully brightening their days and making them, giving people hope here. That's really what this show is about, is giving people hope. So thank you again so much. Audience, guys, I'll tell you, we just love you guys, and thank you. That's why we do the show, is to be able to bring things that can be life-changing to you, and hope you enjoyed the show today. So get out and enjoy this beautiful weather if you're in Dallas, and if you're in Calgary, get on the slopes and go break down some of that snow, some of that pow-pow as we call it. So good golf, good tennis, whatever makes you happy, but we'll see you next week right here on Cliff's Notes. All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.